Hi everyone! I received so many nice responses and comments on my last video about threading the brother serger. Some even took the time to email me. I was really happy that I could help out so many people with this video, so I've decided to make a few more tutorials. I'm learning this machine on my own as well, so it may take some time to get to all the features, but I'd love to explore all of them and put them into videos for you guys. Today I'm going to show you how to do gathering stitches on the serger. Technically the stitch is almost the same as normal serging, but you're messing with the tension a lot more on the serger. So it might seem a little bit intimidating at first, but it is so easy and so fast, and you'll never do another gathering stitch again. You'll always be using your serger for this. The most important step is the first step, and that is to write down the settings you originally had on your serger before you started making all of the adjustments. Sometimes it takes some tweaking to get your serger just right for normal serging, and you don't want to forget what to put it back to when you're done with this gathering stitch. On my serger, I normally have all thread tensions at about 2.5 or 3. My differential feed, which is seen there on the far left, is usually between 0.7 and 1.0. My stitch length is at 3, my knife is on, and my stitch width is at 5. Now this is just for my serger. Yours might be different. Also, don't feel bad if you don't know the names of all the dials, like the differential feed. I had to crack open the instruction book just to get the actual names for this video, but just remember what they do. That is the important part, and you'll be fine. Okay, so I've selected 4 different types of fabric that you might be using to gather for various projects. On the left there I have a type of cotton eyelet lace type of trim that has a raw edge on it. I'm actually using this on one of my costumes gathered, so I'll show you that. The second fabric is kind of a very thick cotton home decor type fabric. The third one is some stiff netting, which you might be using for underskirts or petticoats. And the last one, I just tried to pick some type of stretchy material. So that's actually a polyester velvet stretch fabric. So first we're going to start with the tension of each of the needles. We'll start with the left needle, and you're going to put the tension at 5, and make sure the number lines up with that little horizontal groove there. The right needle is also going to be at 5, and then the last two, the upper and lower looper, they're both going to be at 4. Alright, for some reason when I was filming this I went a little out of order, but whatever. You're going to set your differential feed all the way up to 2.0. Then I already have my stitch width on 5, and then my knife is on, and I am setting my stitch length to 3. Alright, so we're going to start with the first fabric, which was the cotton trim. And you're just going to serge like normal, just try and feed it through evenly. I do have the knife on, so it's going to trim off the raw edge. And you can see it just gently gathers. And so if you see, this fabric gathered pretty tight. You can also pull on it if you want to loosen it up a little bit, depending on how much you want it gathered. It's nice when the fabric does that because you can kind of control how much gathering there is. Whereas you'll see sometimes certain fabrics, they won't gather as tightly. So next we're going to use that thick blue home decor fabric, which is also kind of a cotton material. And since this one's thick, you'll see that it doesn't gather as much. And technically the serger is only supposed to do light gathering. Sometimes if you're lucky though, you can pull on it a little bit and get it to gather more. So you'll see how light it is. It is gathered, but if you try and pull gently, sometimes you can move some of the gathering down. I do apologize for how dark the video is. So see, I was able to get the gathers a little bit more tight, but you will have straight pieces on the end that aren't gathered because it's just the nature of the stitch and how the fabric is going to move. So we'll do the netting next, and this is what I basically use most of the time when I'm gathering because I make a lot of underskirts. I'm sure you could do this with tulle too. And you'll see it gathers, you have a little bit more flexibility on the gathering. Also, what I'm doing here is I'm doubling over the tulle. I basically folded it in half because if you want a really stiff netting, you can fold it in half and you'll get stiffer ruffles. And right there what I did was I turned the knife off just to show you something a little bit differently. You don't have to use the knife. I usually do. But right now I'm serging with the knife off. So you'll see that it also, I would say it does about a medium gather on this. Once I cut it there, I'll show you. So since there's holes in the netting and tulle as well, it's a lot more adjustable. So unlike the other fabric, if you wanted to pull it and you had some straight pieces, this one you can actually pull really tight. And also, I'm sure you might be able to get gathers tighter if you messed with some of the tensions, but this is just for basic gathering. You can see that I can get those gathers really tight on the netting. Or looser if I wanted them. You can always make them looser. And lastly, we have the really stretchy polyester velvet. And this is really stretchy and kind of thin too, as you can see. I'm not sure why you would gather stretchy material, but I was just trying to pick out a variety of materials. So you're just going to feed it through the same way. I'm sure this is much easier than doing a gathering stitch on a regular sewing machine because of the stretchiness. So I would say that this one also does about a medium gather, maybe a little bit tighter than that, but comes out pretty nice. And I did use the knife on this one. So just to show you how easy this was, I know I took quite a few minutes explaining how to do this, but once you get the hang of it, I'm just going to show you how easy it is to go back to normal serging. That only took a couple seconds to put my serger back to where it was originally. That's not my camera, that's just a very large earthquake. Okay, so I had it back to 2.5, and that's where I'm putting it right now. And then I'm just going to take a piece of regular fabric and show you that it serges normally instead of gathering now. And there it goes. See, it's perfectly straight. All we had to do was mess with the tension and the stitch lengths, and it was a matter of seconds. And this saves you so much time. Alright, well, how easy was that? Much easier than threading the machine, in my opinion. It only takes a few seconds for you to convert your machine from a regular serger to one that gathers. I hope everyone who normally uses gathering stitches on a regular sewing machine has just had an epiphany. I know I did when I first learned this. Once again, if you'd like to email me, you can do so at artistk@gmail.com or check out my costume blog at artistk.tumblr.com. And again, thanks for watching.